Would you plot your own boss's murder? That's the question that this movie from 2011 is posing. It's day 125 out of 365. Today's movie, Horrible Bosses. I'm trying to be the boss of my own business. I'm running a movie club for people that love movies. Head over to patreon.com/ticketstubmovieclub to discover more with the link in my profile. Directed by Seth Gordon and starring Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis, and Charlie Day, this was one of my favorite comedies of 2011. Now, I was primed to like this one walking into it. Not only was I already a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Arrested Development, but I was a big SNL kid as well, and Jason Sudeikis was part of the cast when I first got into SNL. As far as SNL goes, you always remember your first. So Sudeikis and Bill Hader and Fred Armisen, those are my favorites overall. We've also already talked about Seth Gordon's movie Four Christmases, and his next movie, Identity Thief, will also be on this list. So I guess any Seth Gordon fans out there, hit follow. Also, anytime he comes up, I love to mention his documentary, The King of Kong. It's one of my favorite documentaries of all time. Absolutely worth the watch. It's probably free on YouTube. Even back in 2011, when I saw this movie, the feeling of anguish around the job market because of the financial crisis of 2008 and all the fallout from that we were feeling in the years to come is just so on display here. I was even feeling it getting ready to lose my job at the time and switch careers entirely. So this movie was almost cathartic. Revisiting in 2025, I had forgotten how many of the bits really work here. Some of Jason Bateman's smaller indie comedies end up being the best that I end up seeing in theaters. Game Night comes to mind immediately, and Horrible Bosses is also one that I'm just like, wow, you're really keyed into stuff we were talking about at the time, but still making a timeless comedy. There was a lot about this one that surprised me in 2025 as well. It was way raunchier than I remembered it. Not a bad thing. I kind of dig that. And the other thing that I noticed that had totally passed me by when I was a kid seeing this was how many cameos there are. There are so many big cameos like Bob Newhart and Ron Tater Salad White. This movie's full of surprises, so let's get into the 3 things that I loved about Horrible Bosses. The first thing that I really loved about this movie that I had totally forgotten was the peanut allergy gag. This is Charlie Day doing physical comedy as well as confusion, anxiety, everything about it is over the top. They're in the middle of breaking into Jason Bateman's boss's house when Charlie Day's character throws a piece of trash out of the window of the car that has peanut on it, and we find out that Jason Bateman's boss is allergic to peanuts. He requires a shot of epinephrine, which Pulp Fiction style, Charlie Day is stabbing into his chest over and over and eventually gets it into his jugular to save his life. The whole sequence is hilarious, but then when you think about the fact that these are guys trying to kill their boss, if he'd have just done nothing, it would have resolved a lot in the movie. The first kill would have been out of the way already. Now, later on, Kevin Spacey's character will go on to kill Jason Sudeikis' boss, taking care of that little problem. And honestly, the whole thing overall, having any murder at all, is kind of wild. It's not totally necessary for a movie like this. So the fact that they get away with 1 and almost 2 really, really works for me. Your stakes don't have to be super, super high. As long as we know what the goal is, that's what really works. And this trio is doing overtime to make this happen. I've just talked about The Hangover recently, and there could be comparisons made here with the 3 of them kind of having that same ego, super ego, and id setup, but a trio just works in general. Charlie Day is doing this on his show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so the fact that they understand the setup totally makes sense. This sequence could work just as well with Mac, Charlie, and Dennis, right? The same thing could play out with Danny DeVito getting stabbed in the chest over and over. So this is the kind of stuff that really works for me in a comedy. It's timeless because it's complicating the goal of the movie without dating it at all. The second gag that really grabbed me was Motherfucker Jones. Jamie Foxx and his timing and delivery are fantastic. He's done stand-up, he's done comedy movies, he's done comedy on television. This is a guy that's just talented overall within the genre. To bring him in as a stereotype breaking, taking advantage of the dumb guys, and being smooth and cool and funny all at the same time, no one else could really do this but Jamie Foxx. His costuming and makeup are fantastic, the head tattoos wrapping the whole way up and around, but the thing that he really brings, the thing that he knows how to bring is character to his characters. And the way that he drinks his drinks, the way that he manipulates the straw with his mouth and tongue is like almost mesmerizing. It's almost like he's doing a drama within a comedy role in the way that he's able to like move his face. He's like Jim Carrey almost. The first time we meet him is hilarious and frightening. The second time we interact with him gets just that much funnier for it when they come back to the bar to confront him and he's like making them look bad. It's so funny playing with the race politics of the time without being outright racist. It's just poking fun at white people for not knowing how to navigate these spaces. That's really tongue-in-cheek and funny. Instead of doing race jokes at the cost of your black character in the movie, they center him as like the funniest and most opportune person. Everyone else around him is the idiot. The third and final thing that I love about this movie is the final, I guess, big gag of the film. Shout out to my man Atmanand / Gregory. This is such a great bit. And again, talking more about like the racial ineptitude of white people. This is something that pays off at the end because he's just a motherfucking cool character. Any jokes made at his expense are made by people that we understand are kind of maybe shitty people in general. And I love that he is the one that ultimately saves the day. He records Kevin Spacey admitting to a murder and setting up these guys to go to prison and take the fall for it. It's such a great payoff. And so I think it's worth us getting his fucking name right. It's Atmanand. It's not that hard to say. He shouldn't have to change his name. We should do better at pronouncing people's names. But what do you think? Are you a fan of Horrible Bosses? Did you get into the sequel as well? I think that's going to end up in this list, so give a follow if you want to eventually check that one out with me. I know we just left big franchises for this little comedy stopover, but we're going back to a big franchise as we talk about Captain America, the First Avenger. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.